Do you feel pressed on time and can't even imagine adding a workout to your routine? Are you not sure how you can squeeze in any exercise? Do you feel like you have to work out really hard or really long for it to count as an exercise or to feel like you got any benefit from exercise? Well, we're going to be breaking down in this episode why 10 to 15-minute workouts really work, and it helps you to stop the starting and stopping of exercise and stay consistent. This is one of my favorite things to talk about because it's so simple. So I'm so excited to share this topic with you today.
Hi friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michelle, mom of four and military wife. I have my doctorate in physical therapy and I'm an online personal trainer, health coach, and yoga teacher. Do you wish that you had more energy and could get into shape? Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight? Maybe you've tried a diet before, but it just wasn't sustainable, and now you don't know how to get started. We're going to look at health holistically here, and most importantly, keep things simple and quick. If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably without long workouts or following strict diets, then you're in the right place. In this podcast, I bring together my expertise with real life strategies. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. So let's dive right into this topic today. So if you're someone who is hesitant, really thinking a 10 or 15-minute workout would be worth it, or that it's really going to do anything for you, then I'm excited to have you listen to this episode. So the number one problem I see from clients and hear from people is not staying consistent with their exercise. And when you don't stay consistent with your exercise, you don't really start to see those gains. So one of the biggest solutions here is to shorten your workouts, because a lot of us are so busy that we don't have time for a super long workout. We don't always have time to go to the gym or do something. But if we can change our mindset around this and realize that 10 to 15-minute workouts can work, and of course you can add some longer workouts in there. But when you're short pressed on time, if you do 10 or 15-minute workouts, it can change things. So do you find yourself struggling some days to exercise? You're like, I know I don't have enough time. That happens to all of us. And if we can start to shift our mindset to just getting these extra little bits of workout in, really simplifying things, we can make a change. So recently, I was just speaking with a new client, and I had known her for a while, and for months, she had wanted to get started working out, and she kept saying she was, but she never started. And part of the problem was, again, thinking that it had to be a long workout or it had to be something harder and not keeping it small. And then the other piece was also finding the time. So after we talked about starting with 10 to 15-minute workouts, and then we talked on when she was going to do this. And the nice thing about 10 to 15-minute workouts is you can squeeze them into your day. So she kept thinking that she needed to wake up really early to get her workout in. Well, when you do a 10 to 15-minute workout, she's like, well, I can definitely do this during breakfast as my kids are doing this. So there was a big shift into like, this is more doable because it's shorter. I can incorporate it into my day. So this can really become important. So I just encourage you that if you're struggling with this, if you are not getting started because exercising sounds too overwhelming, then reach out. My link is down below and we can set up a free health coaching call where we can just chat about your struggles and see what we can do, how you can work it out in a way that feels good. Because a lot of times we overcomplicate things in our mind, and sometimes we're just missing one little piece of information or one little mindset shift to really move us from that place of being stuck to starting. So next I want to talk about why it's important to strength train 3 times a week. It's really important because we lose muscle mass within 48 hours. So if you want to put on muscle and you want to keep it, then you got to be working on those muscles 3 times a week to be able to build that muscle and keep it. So this is also where it goes back to that consistency factor. So you have to stay consistent to see these changes within your muscle, within your body. So if you typically do a 1-hour workout a week, you're going to see more benefit from doing 3 15-minute workouts a week, because you're going to have that consistency. You're going to start building that strength and keeping it. I just want to make a side note here that I'm saying strength train 3 times a week. I find it most beneficial if people get in a habit of exercise, a habit of movement, so that every day you are moving your body and it becomes a habit. So whether that is just that 10 or 15 minutes, maybe you strength train one day, maybe the other day you're stretching or going for a walk. But if you want it to become a habit, it needs to become a part of your life every day. You need to become someone who moves their body every day. So I encourage you to do that, to move your body every day, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. So I also want to go back to this idea of strength training 3 times a week. So as you guys know, I have my degree in physical therapy. I used to work as a physical therapist. I no longer do. But in physical therapy, you typically have patients come in 3 times a week. Why is that? Because we want to build their strength and we want to keep their strength. And typically we're also sending home exercises for them to do at home. Not a super long workout or exercise to follow, but something short that they can do so we can continue to build the strength and keep it. I also just want to share a little story about myself here. So I have 4 kids, but after my 3rd kid, and all 3 of my kids were pretty little then, I really struggled. I sort of had lost my pregnancy weight and then I started putting weight back on and I didn't know what was going on. That's not a fun spot to be in. But what it was, I was so busy with the kids. I was so busy with everything that I wasn't taking care of myself. And I was going up the flight of stairs and I was feeling out of breath and like, oh my goodness, I am too young to feel like this going up a flight of stairs. I don't want this to be my life and I don't want my health to get even worse. So I was thinking, if I just need to go up the flight of stairs and not be out of breath, I don't have to do super long workouts. I could keep it simple. I could do quick workouts. So that is what I started with. I started with 10-minute workouts. I kept it really simple. I also tweaked my nutrition a little bit. I didn't follow a diet, but I just worked on improving my nutrition. So through that, I was able to start to lose the weight and get in shape and start feeling better in a way that was really doable. So most people, when I ask if they can fit 10 minutes in of exercise a day, the answer is usually yes. So remember to keep it simple, especially when your life is feeling so busy and you're feeling like you just don't have the time. So how does that sound to you? Does 10 minutes sound doable? So I encourage you to just start there. And if you don't have a program to follow or anything, just start with walking. Start with turning on music and dancing in your kitchen. Get that exercise going. And I also have a free resource if you want to do some strength training and yoga. I have a free 5-day exercise challenge. The link is down below and it's only 15 minutes a day. It's also beginner friendly. So you can learn how to exercise correctly with yoga. You can learn how to move correctly at a beginner level because I know sometimes yoga is overwhelming, especially if you are inflexible. So head to that link down below to check out that challenge so you can get started. And it's 5 days a week so you can start to develop that habit. And you can repeat that challenge 2 to 3 times, however many times you would like, so you can start building your strength and maintaining it. So when you're first starting to exercise, I want you to make sure that it's something you enjoy and that you want to do. So I'm a fan of strength training here, but if that's not what you enjoy, that's not going to get you started. So if it's walking, if it's dancing, start with something you enjoy. Do it 10 minutes every day. Let that become a habit. And once it becomes a habit and you're feeling good, you can shift to something else or you can incorporate something else. I like to do strength training because it's a really effective workout and there's lots of benefits to our muscle, to our health, to our bones. But you have to build that habit first. And then once you have a habit, really figuring out your goals. What is it you want to do? Do you want to tone your body? Do you want more strength? Do you want to pick up your child and it not be a struggle? And then you can start to shift those workouts a little more towards your goals. And it's also really important to pick the day, pick the time that you're going to do this. Because if it's not a habit in it, you can't just hope that you're going to do it each day because you're not going to remember. There are still some days that I forget to exercise. It doesn't happen too often. But if we're not intentional with planning our exercise, it's not going to happen. So I encourage you right now to pause this, to write down in your planner or your Google Calendar, whatever you use, when you're going to exercise, write that time down. Commit to yourself if you want to do this.
So I hope that if you are struggling with getting started working out, that this episode has encouraged you, that you realize that you can start with 10 minutes. Even though I've been saying 10 to 15, you can even start with 5. You just have to get started and develop that habit. So remember to start with something you enjoy, especially if you're struggling with getting started. And then after you start to get in a habit of moving your body 10 minutes every day, then you can go back to and look at what your goals are and start to exercise more in alignment with your goals or what you want to do. And remember, a lot of times the hardest thing of exercise is getting started. It is why also a lot of people come to work with me because they're struggling on their own to get started and they want that extra accountability. They just want everything laid out for them. So wherever you are, I encourage you to just take that next step tomorrow, whether that is to play that music, dance around your kitchen, if it's to go for a walk, if it's to do my 5-day exercise challenge, if it's to contact me and get set up with personal training. So be an action taker, not just a listener. And thank you so much for tuning in today.
Friends, I hope this episode empowered and inspired you to take one more step forward in your health. The number one way you can thank me is to just leave a quick review. Not only does this help the podcast to grow, but I love hearing the positive impact this show has had in your life. Our world doesn't make it easy to be healthy, so having the right community around you is key. So join my free, private Facebook group. The link is down below. Change is hard, but believe me, my friend, with the right tools and support, you can do this.